माझा कार्ड राहिला 32 GB चा.
Kind of enthusiasm, future entrepreneurs, incubator ideas. Good afternoon to everybody.
Good afternoon.
That's wonderful. So we have with us our speakers of the day, and in a short while we'll be beginning the session. Apologies for the delay because we had a morning session, and then to ensure that everything goes on time. But the crowd here looks wonderful crowd, and I'm sure the crowd is really interested to attend what is going to come next. So I'll welcome all the dignitaries, and I request our managing committee members, Sanjeev Patil sir, Padde sir, Kutti sir, to be there on the dais along with our guest speakers, Dr. Aadesh Suryarao sir on the dais here, sir. Please give a big round of applause. Introduction and other details about the person concerned. Speaker will be given by Dr. Prajakta Paranswe ma'am. I invite. I invite the next speaker, that is Ms. Neha Agarwal, also on the dais. Please give a big round of applause. I invite the members of Gowalis Industrial Association, Mr. Vinod Doshi, on the dais. CA Andrew sir on the dais. Raghuvanshi sir on the dais. The coordinators of the session, but Ashok Grover sir has conveyed that he is not going to be available today for certain work. So I invite Ashok Kolaso sir on the dais, and I invite sir you also on the dais to coordinate the session along with. I request Kutti sir to I request the volunteers also to please occupy their seat rather than standing at the back side. Please take your seat because the sessions following here onwards are going to be very interesting. So buckle up your seat and sit down comfortably. I request Dr. Prajakta Paranswe. I request Dr. Prajakta Paranswe ma'am to carry forward this further session.
Thank you, Deepa. We will begin the program as we are a bit behind schedule. So I'll just introduce today Mr. Aadesh Suryarao. He is presently the Chief Executive Officer of Mumbai University Startup Incubator. He is an engineer and holds a degree of MBA in Finance. He has corporate as well as entrepreneurial experience and fond of tech startup right after completing his engineering. Before joining Mumbai University, he was working with a national stock exchange as a risk management officer, which is one of the largest stock exchanges of India. He is appointed as NISP coordinator for University of Mumbai and Innovation Ambassador for Ministry of Education. A huge round of applause and a request Sanjeev Patil sir to do the honor for sir. Thank you, Dada. Next, our speaker, Ms. Neha Agarwal. She is currently contributing in the capacity of investments principal for Prime Private Investment Platform, Mumbai Angels. As a seasoned investment professional and consultant, Neha derives 360-degree venture building, which includes deal sourcing and evaluation, portfolio management, investment relations, fundraiser and investment advisor for budding ventures across diverse sectors. In her current role, she is also actively involved in the portfolio management 200 plus companies and 150 plus MNCs. The startup and HNIS networking through her association with Mumbai Angels. I would request Padya sir to do the honor. Now I request Dinesh Kamble sir to welcome all the members of the Sari Industries Association. Thank you, sir. I request Arun Kumar sir to do the honor for next. That is Kolaso sir. Sorry, Anto sir. I request Luhar sir to honor Vinod Joshi sir. Thank you, sir. I request Kuti sir to honor Raghuvanshi sir. I request Chakur sir to felicitate Lokande sir. Thank you, sir. Now we'll start the session with Mr. Aadesh Suryarao sir. Please, sir, your stage is on yours.
Yes, I have PPT presentation, but I can do without it.
Yeah. So the audience.
So let's start discussing at least. So thank you, ma'am, for waking everyone up. This is a very critical time in a day after lunch. Your body tells you to go to a certain phase of sleep. But I'm sure the lineup that sir has arranged, it's an ideal mix to cultivate that necessary effect to entrepreneurship ecosystem. So you have an incubator like me from the academia. We are sitting in an academic campus which is focused on sci-tech as well as interdisciplinary research. You have representatives from the investing network, which is at the last bridge you would require their help. And you have industries which can make you fly and make you touch the sky, right? So they would be very critical in all these journeys. So they are like filling gaps. So they have that multiple capacities with them that can, if you communicate efficiently what you are doing to them, so they would be more than happy to come help you, because there are interests which are win-win in nature, because they are also looking for innovations in their processes. So I think my presentation is up. So I represent Mumbai University's Incubation Center. How many of you here know what is a startup incubator? Everybody knows what is an incubator? Anyone can tell me what is an incubator? I just hear a lot of yes. Any. Yes, please.
Science students will talk about incubators that they use in the laboratory
Yes,
to
yes.
incubate the
Yes,
microorganisms.
please.
Provides the atmosphere to startups.
So,
That's
required for
true.
development
That's-
of our growth of the microorganisms.
Yes. So, yes.
A workplace which is provided for the startups' ideas.
Right. I was expecting a biomedical incubator from your side, but that's true. So, like the bio incubator hosts that baby and cultivates it, makes it sustainable environment for that baby to grow. This incubator, startup business incubator, what it does is it helps your idea to grow from a baby stage, idea stage, to a full-fledged business stage. So a lot of things are involved during this journey of your idea. So that's what we will be discussing. One question more: how many of you have watched Shark Tank? Good. It makes my efforts easier. And next slide, please. I have only 2 slides, so don't worry about it. This is not the next slide. This is the 3rd slide. Left. Yes. To understand what an incubator services to the startup is, you should understand what is the journey of an entrepreneur. Unlike the belief, the journey of an entrepreneur starts with an ability to observe, to notice the gaps into the market, to notice what is underserved. Most probably, those opportunities are understood by society as the challenges, and that's what entrepreneur looks at it, as an opportunity to solve those challenges, because if someone is facing those challenges to the mass scale, that turns into an opportunity if you address it via innovative way. So the ability to observe and notice the gaps into the market, whatever is working and what can be done to efficiently make that work, is that innovation, or is that ability for you to explore the entrepreneurship. Then once you observe that gap, you must have a skill set to come up with a solution. It is most likely that you alone would not be able to do that. If you can, it's excellent, because nothing is impossible, but it would be faster if you collect or reach out to like-minded people, discuss with them. The solution most probably will be interdisciplinary. So biotechnology guy must need to be engage with the engineering guy or hotel management guy, whatever. The solution is so easy that it gets missed by most of the higher people or the technologies. But once you interdisciplinary come out with the idea or brainstorming session, that itself becomes an innovative solution, which people are surprised by the efficiency of it. Right? Most of the people that watch Shark Tank, you would have noticed this, that solution is so easy, and it is so easily adopted in the market that you would have thought, okay, this looks very easy to me, but I wouldn't dare to launch it in the commercial market. But once you take that risk to go into market, to take that feedback and to convince the customers, you start getting that adoption from the market, and then your revenue streams start generating. Once this brainstorming session or the idea generation is complete, then you need to validate. It's not that you just got an idea and you thought whatever we are thinking, bunch of guys, you will start a company and then you will start earning crores. No, it's not that easy. So this is the very critical step. You should know what is right. On the table, whoever with you, your faculty, your industry partner, your friends, your colleague from another discipline, you should crystallize 1 or 2 solutions. You go into market or you consult a third party which is unbiased. because everybody thinks he is correct or that group is correct. Because this solution is not just for you, it is for people, it has a commercial applications. You should reach out to the persons who are willing or suffering from that problem that you are solving. Right? So validation of a problem or the solution that you are proposing for the problem is necessary. For this, you would need to have a research or let's say surveys to validate if I am coming up with this product, would you buy it? As simple as that. If this problem is solved by our this innovative solution, would you able to shell some money out of your pocket to purchase it if we launch it? So simple solution, simple surveys can give you a validation, public validation of your innovative solution. Once you have that critical validation, so most probably they will say no. Then you again ask them, okay, what more is required? Why we are not the first choice amongst the products or the services that are existing in the market. You will get to know, okay, this is the pain point of the customers that you are going to tap in that particular industry. So try to address, go back to the brainstorming session, again sit together, go back to the drawing board and form a solution that you think or your group thinks that most probably solve the problem, and go back to the validation phase again. Once you have validation, then the startup registration comes in. See, this is a very critical part in your commercial journey. Most of the people just form LLPs or the proprietorships and start their businesses. But a startup from the beginning has to have a nature of expansion, right? If you start with the wrong legal foundation of your business, later on you would most probably or definitely need to change that entity to some other entity, and then again that has various compliance issues and there is a brand building issue. And additionally, once you have a startup as a private limited company, you have the ability to raise funds with your equity, as well as you get a lot of Startup India benefits if you have a registered startup as a private limited company. So one of the benefit is IPR and prototyping benefit. So IPR in the Startup India and Maharashtra State has given a lot of schemes for patenting. International patent is subsidized up to 80%. Which is close to 2 lakh of grant is given to the startups and innovators. Also, there are quality testing facilities up to 10 lakh is subsidized. So, if someone is working in biotech or nanotech, or they want to have the certification, आपकी से बोलो या फिर NABL accredited lab से बोलो, तो वो certifications, quality testing certifications are subsidized up to 10 lakhs. So, if your certificate or that whole process costs you 5 lakh rupees, everything will be paid by the government. So it's important to have a Startup India registration to avail these kind of benefits. And most of the academicians who have a commercial worthy research don't know this. They first publish, their patent is then question mark, and then it's just a promotional tactic that they have to use. But if they take this route, they have their patent at a very subsidized cost. They have their internal promotion. I know those are important as well. But have some patience before publishing. Go for a patent route, and this is faster, by the way. If you go by academic route, that patent has a different line. Startup India has a ease of doing business. Startups have a different queue, and it is fast track because our government is competing internationally with the patents and the innovations that are created or researched within the Indian boundaries. Right? Once you have a patent-worthy product, so not all innovation or not all startups will be eligible for this. That's why specifically in deep tech startups and researchers who have commercializable research should follow that path. Nonetheless, the Startup India is not an optional for any startup. Later you go back to market. Why later? Because till now your innovation is not patentable if it is patent worthy. You cannot disclose your secrets openly. Once you have a patent, you have that right. Nobody else can use your innovation, or nobody else can use your secret source for commercial gain. Only you can use it for a decade or 2 decades. after you have patented your innovation. Then you go into market, you discuss how this works, you take the feedback of the actual potential customers into the market, you reiterate, you improvise your products or services, and then once you get the traction, you gather a pipeline of orders, purchase orders, or the interest, or LOIs from the customers. You are perfectly placed for raising funds, right? Any time before this, if you go to an investor, we have one amongst us, she will be next. The probability of you getting funds is very big. I hope I'm correct. So they need a validation as well, right? And the easiest one is you have orders, because ultimately business runs on sales and revenue. So if you have genuine interest, if you have genuine orders in your startup, you're on priority of investing networks. It can start with a seed fund, it can start with the angel investment. Even the incubators who give seed funds, they would prioritize startups who are generating revenue than an idea stage, right? And that doesn't mean you shouldn't approach, because some ideas need some pre-seed kind of support. But any process before this is done by the incubator, right? So for that you just need passion and will to work hard towards your idea, and that ultimately works as a validation for an academic institution or the incubator, right? For us that is sufficient. So it's our job to take your idea to the investing stage, and later once the investor is invested, is his or her job to make an ROI from that investment. Right? It's an automatic, it's a win-win for both. Right? So funding, it can start with angel and venture capitalist rounds, and then you launch full-fledged. So you can expand your wings, you can attract further series of funds, and this is the very simple process of any entrepreneur or any innovator in the startup. Now, since this is done, the next slide we will explain what as an incubator University of Mumbai does. So on the central, it's not me, so I will just explain. We are a platform to facilitate this journey of entrepreneurship. So this cannot be done alone. So you notice me, the angels need to be there, the innovators need to be there, the students and faculty, academia needs to be engaged. The government entities and the investors like here. So that's why this is a very well balanced session. So mentors, academy and industry mentors need to be engaged. The various service providers, CA, legal, faculty, that needs to be engaged for pre-incubation and incorporation of companies. If there is an M&A, the complex agreements need to be closed. So all these will be too heavy for an entrepreneur to consume in the beginning. It's a very specialized task, and it's always good to have a professional help. But at this time, you cannot afford that professional challenge. So we have created a network amongst University of Mumbai who is willingly contributing their expertise without any gain. So they are doing this by goodwill, because once they support the entrepreneurship, they understand that ecosystem development is good, job creation opportunity is good, and they might have their own interest in R&D facilities, because they see that innovation can give them an edge into the market, right? If they support their innovation. So it's kind of outsourcing of R&D, because innovation is such a thing you cannot ask a person to innovate. It's not academics. It may come, it may not come, based on the talent or based on your observation capacity in the market, the way you are wired, right? So the corporates are engaged, alumni network is engaged, because you never know how, who and which corporate can help you grow or give you a piece of advice which would be a pivotal in user, right? Left side. So University of Mumbai gives you an access to the state-of-art labs that we have for prototyping or for the research into your innovation. The industry linkage, as I discussed, mentoring by industry and academia. We have IPR facilitation cell as well. Then office co-working spaces, as someone mentioned. So they shouldn't spend a lot on their capital or their bootstrap money on the infrastructure. Rather, they can work into the incubator at a very discounted rates or very cheap rates. Legal and financial advisory services to start proper foundation of your company, and later for the agreements and any compliances that needs to be done on the yearly basis or month-to-month basis. Investor network and alumni network is access and seed funding. A lot of networking opportunities are created by the events and expos that we arrange, wherein a lot of government stakeholders, investors, industry stakeholders are visiting the stalls of the incubators or the startups that we support. One such event is happening in February 1st, 2nd and 3rd in Nehru Center. Last year also we were a lead incubation partner. It's a CII organized by Marshall's Foundation. Then on the right, so innovations are good. So we are in generally sector agnostic, because as a university we have a lot of strengths, interdisciplinary disciplination. We have biotech, we have nanotech labs, we have the researchers who are working in those labs. So our focus, I always say 50% would be deep tech, since as a university we have those resources and we can channel our energies to that, commercializing that deep tech research. But the other objective is to create an employment via entrepreneurship, right? So any innovation, any startups that has a potential to scale, that is innovative in nature, that can create a social impact by employing at least 5 people in their life. So that is something that we are looking. So entrepreneurship and employment worthy startups would always be supported in the incubation. So rest are the other facilitation. Next slide. I know I said 2, but this is just finishing up. So the way to apply is very simple. You just have to visit muideas.org. There is a simple Google form on the right. Yeah. And the way we work with academic institutes like Viva colleges, they can have a MU Ideas Startup Club in-house. So one particular faculty or SPOC would be constantly in touch with us to understand or to seek help from the university. So there is no duplication of resources, and the sessions that we carry out on a regular basis are communicated properly. Those who are interested then attend those, or we can have sessions here wherein this ecosystem is also developed. So that's all from me. I believe there's a Q&A, or can we have it? Any questions we can have for 2 or 3 minutes?
Yeah, 1 or 2 questions.
Or we can keep it. Any questions? Yes.
This is only for students or outsiders also?
Very good question. So we believe business is not a silo activity. So we have incubators from Gujarat, we have incubators from Bhopal as well. So this is not just for Mumbai University students or faculty, it is open for R&D for businesses as well.
No. I mean, can you have already those who are entrepreneurs?
Yeah.
Like me?
Yes. You can.
I have another question. You said registration, startup registration.
Yes.
So I have already applied for the patent.
Okay.
So can I avail that facility?
No. First startup, then. Because once you have private limited, then that patent will also come on startup's name. In turn, increasing its asset and valuation later.
Startup is a partner with the patent.
The patent itself will be on not on individual name, it will be on startup. That's how the scheme is designed, to promote or to increase the valuation in general for the office startups.
Yes, sir. Any other question?
So suppose a student have passed certain his qualification basically. So is it available to him?
Yes. That's what I said. You
Because
can be
IPR and it takes certain duration of months, right?
Hmm.
So in case student is in his final year, so if he moves out from his university, so is it available to him also
Yes,
as well?
yes. So that's what I said. The Gujarat startup is not necessarily Mumbai University alumni or affiliated university. Anyone who has an innovation, who has a startup and passion to pursue it, is welcome.